Get started with you. How are you enjoying the tour with Soulfly so far? You guys have been, you have like what, 3-4 dates left? So.
It's been amazing. I can't complain. We're on tour with Soulfly, so it's been really good.
That's good. So your last album was in '08, right?
Right, correct.
So are you guys working on new material?
We actually have an album coming out. It should be out around March sometime. I don't have a specific date, but I know it's going to be released in March. And we took some time off, wrote the album, recorded it, and now it's being mixed and mastered. So.
Okay. So are you guys a band that can write on the road, or some need to take time off and others?
I don't think that we can't write on the road. I just think that we prefer not to write on the road because just being on the road is already hectic. You got to get in, load in, you got to do this, you got to be by merges, you got so many things to do, and we don't have like a big crew. It's us. So I mean, we prefer to write at home, so we usually do.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's a lot easier to focus that way.
Yeah, and it's not like this all the time either. So it's not like you get like your own room and you just sit like, let's just chill and write an album. It's not like that.
So, I guess you had this tour, then you were, had some dates with Hatebreed, then there was some dates with 36 Crazy Fists. You guys have been out on the road for a while, right?
That's usually the way it goes. For a band, you have to tour. You have to work. That's pretty much this is our income. So we can't afford to take off and sit around and do nothing.
So is there a dream band that you'd love to share a stage with someday?
There's billions of like dream bands I love to share a stage with. Like some that are here and some that are not even bands anymore. Definitely Metallica's one. I mean, who wouldn't want to share the stage with Metallica? They're Metallica, So there's a lot of bands, Metallica being one.
Awesome. So what are the plans for the holidays?
Sleep. Lots of sleep. To get better, to watch movies, to lay in bed. I want to lay in bed for a week. Take a bubble bath. That's just me. I guess, am I supposed to be speaking for everybody else? No, I guess our biggest, thing for the holidays is to spend time with family and stuff like that. So that's the biggest thing.
So, what is the writing process like for you? I mean, what comes first generally? Is it like a hook, melody, lyrics?
Actually, like the music comes first. Like the guys will sit around on the computers or with a guitar, or, on the drums, and they'll pound out a song. And usually when they get it to like where it's in the stages of becoming a song, they'll hand it off to me like a recorded version, and I'll just go by myself. I hate to write like when there's people around. I'll go by myself and I'll listen to the song, and usually like this, it'll come to me. Like I know it sounds so weird, like it says no. It usually just comes to me. I feel it, and it's like this is what I want to say, and the song usually just writes itself. I know it sounds whack, but that's it.
That's good. I mean, I've heard some people like really struggle with the writing,
Yeah, I mean, I struggle too from time to time. Sometimes I'll just get like writer's block. I'm just like, I don't know what the hell to write about. Like I'm just like, well, I usually let it go and then come back to it later.
So how is it for you as an artist when like a fan will come up to you? I mean, basically it's your words, and they have an effect on the listener. So what's it like for you when a fan comes up and says, your music's affected me or helped me through a certain situation?
It's like, I guess if I had to put it in words, it's a humbling experience. It's something that I write and it means something to me, and to have somebody come up to me and be like, this made such an impact on me, it's the biggest form of compliment you can ever get. Like we just had a band, she got the chorus of Taste of Ashes tattooed on her arms, and then another show, this guy came up to me and like right when our album came out, he lost his wife and he bought our album, and he's like, you understand like what this album means to me, and it's like I'm like lost for words. It's just like I feel like just saying like, oh, that's so cool, it's just like so not even worth saying, because it's like it's the highest form of compliment you could ever get being an artist.
I'm sure. I've heard too where people will take meanings that even the writer didn't even think that they
put
would
another
take
spin
out
on
of
it.
it.
I mean, that's how I like to write like that. I don't like to write where it's just like, what the hell are they talking about? I want them to be able to get something from it. That's why we do what we do anyways.
So, what was the first concert that you remember going to?
have, I know, right off the bat, my first concert. My first concert was Family Values. It was Korn. I was big, like, and I didn't even expect to go. I had never been to a concert in my life, ever, because I was a hermit, big nerd, usually stayed in my room. But I had a big, like, crush on Korn. I loved the band. I had everything. I had the tapes. My room was, like, filled with Korn posters. And then, like, my brother's friend was like, guess where you're going for Christmas? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, we're taking you to go see your favorite band. I'm like, no way. Of course, I was, like, way in the back. And I cried later because I wanted to meet him, and I didn't get to. And I wanted to be in a band so bad. But that was my first concert.
Oh, that's a good one, definitely. I think mine's more embarrassing than that. So.
No, what was it? What was it?
Sneakers on the Blocks.
Really? Oh my God, I was never a New Kids fan. I don't know why my best friend was. She was New Kids. I was like, we used to play with the dolls and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep, guilty as charged. So, you know, how do you guys best pass the time on the road?
We all do different things. You know, we don't stay in each other's pockets. Usually, like, for myself, I sit in the front seat. I usually sleep in the front seat as well. And I'll read. I'll play games on my phone. I'll talk to my family. When the boys are not driving, because I don't drive. When the boys are not driving, Jason will usually be, you know, he'll talk to his wife, or he'll play games on his phone or his computer. Kinky's on his computer, or his, you know, talking to his loved ones and stuff like that. Seth's usually doing the same. You know, we usually just find little things to do to keep us occupied.
So, you know, being female and fronting, you know, a hard rock band, like, is that ever presenting any challenges for you?
Just being female. I mean, because naturally we have to deal with nature, and that sucks. Guys don't have to deal with that. That part, that element of it, that sucks. But other than that, everything has problems. I mean, even if you're a male, when you're doing this type of music, there's always a challenge. So, I can't. There's specific problems, you know. Of course, you know, you'll be playing a show, and like I got the other day, a guy was just like, "Show your boobs." Of course, he didn't say it that way. It's totally disrespectful, but I mean, it comes with the territory. So it's either you take the good with the bad. Keep going.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're starting to see a surge of that too. I mean, you have bands like In This Moment and things like, you know, that are tearing up the airwaves, and it is like female fronted.
Right. Like, I think women are coming up. I think it's, you know, it's special. Don't get me wrong, because it's a rarity. You rarely see women in metal and stuff like that. But I think that I definitely think that we're coming up. You know, making ourselves more known, more public, I guess you say.
So when did you first decide you wanted to pursue music? Oh,
I knew when I was a kid. I knew, like, my whole family's. I have a musical background. My mom sang in church. You know, it sounds cliche and everything, but I knew when I was young. I don't know how old I must have been, but I knew I was always singing. I was always banging on pots and pans. I told my mom, I said, I'm gonna be a singer when I grow up. That's what I'm gonna do. And I was on a one track like path. I was like, this is what I'm gonna do, and I stuck with it. So all through school, even when I wasn't in school and I did homeschool, it was just like, I want to do music. I want to sing. Of course, I wasn't doing rock at the time.
Yeah.
I was doing, like, I had an all girl group, Smooth as Silk. That was like my middle school girl group. And my brother, he's the one that actually got me into metal, because he was like into White Zombie and Korn and Pantera and stuff like that. And I tease him like mercilessly. I'm like, what are you listening to all that junk for? And it just so happens that it influenced me and got me into metal. And I started pursuing a band. I was probably around 15, 16, maybe even 14. Maybe as young as 14. Just started pursuing a band. And from there, I guess the rest is pretty much history. I'm here now.
Well, I think, you know, even from the tracks that I've listened to, I think what's so awesome is, you know, the range of vocals. Like, you go from, like, the guttural screams, like, the growls, to, like, the melodic. And how do you train your voice for that?
It was before I joined this band. I had my very first band in my hometown, Clarksville, Tennessee. And my drummer wrote this song. And he goes, you're not to scream. And I had never screamed before. He's like, you gotta be sick. And I'm like, I don't know what sick is. Like, you know, that just came out and everything. And I was like, I had this, like, little amplifier in my room. And I was just screaming my brains out. And I was like, that sounds kind of cool. So that's how I taught myself how to do it. And then, you know, later down the line when I recorded this album, Skies Watch Ashore, they sent me to work with Melissa Cross, and she taught me some techniques and stuff like that. So it was pretty fun, pretty interesting.
So, you being from Tennessee and everything, what was the scene like there?
I definitely call like Tennessee my hometown. I'm technically an Army brat. I've been sort of here and there and stuff like that because of my parents. But yeah, Tennessee's my home, and the music scene is it was booming when I first, you know, got immersed in the scene. It was booming, you know. Now it's like it's sort of died down just a little bit. You know, it's not as big as it was.
I think we're seeing that like all over the place. You know, it's, you know, rock is definitely the touring market,
Right.
You know, so I think that, you know, but even in big cities, like, you know, it's getting harder and harder to book shows.
Well, yeah,
things
because
like
you would
that.
have, like, you know, usually even have the local bands be weekend warriors and stuff like that, but now it's not cutting it, you know, they're losing their jobs, they got, you know, you can't just run off and do a tour, you know.
Right.
It's hard.
So, do you guys have any more plans for music videos and stuff like that?
Naturally, like, our management is Raging Nation Films, and Del Ray Dressed Again, he's done a lot of videos, so naturally we're gonna always do videos.
Yeah.
So he's actually, we just saw him like yesterday, and he's already talking, he's got these concepts, so people will definitely see videos, there will definitely be videos.
That's good. You know, I like to look at music as a universal language that everyone can speak and understand. Is there a certain hope of what your music relates to a listener?
I really feel like, I guess, how do I answer that question? I would hope that our music above all things would be positive. That somebody find, you know, even if they're going through something like dark, and I've been through my own darkness, whatever, but they find a way through the music to overcome, you know. So I would hope that they would be able to relate that, you know, because I write about all types of things. I write about being down and out, you know, and sometimes in the song there won't be, you know, another verse about coming back up or, you know, making it or whatever. I would hope that they would see that themselves, that they would find it somewhere and be like, okay, well, I can do this, you know, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. So, and what is the best way for fans to keep up to date with what's going on with the band?
It's best for them to keep in touch with us. We have MySpace, Facebook, all that stuff. I guess our social networker in the band is Seth. That's our guitar player, and he's always on top of that. I mean, nonstop, 24/7, dates, anything. And anybody sends us messages, like, you know, he's on top of it. You know, and if somebody sends a message to me, it goes to me.
Okay.
So it's best to just get it from the horse's mouth, from us.
Right.
So.
So, would you say the rise of social media has been a tool for you guys?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just a blessing and it's a curse, you know. It's definitely helped us out immensely in some aspects, and it's definitely hurt us in some aspects, you know. That's the name of the game, you know.
Of course. Well, and sometimes too, even with the so many changes happening in the industry, and you know, it started with people stealing music, and now, you know, it's basically singles for sale on iTunes. And
it's weird. I never thought I'd see it go this far. I mean, even when they had the Napster thing, I didn't even know what was going on. I was just like, what is this? This is weird. This is odd. But you know, it's constantly evolving. I like to think that it'll turn around. You know, it'll come, you know, full circle.
I hope so.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I definitely hope so. Well, you know, I definitely want to thank you for taking the time
my
to speak
pleasure.
with me. Is there, you know, any message or comment you'd like to share with the online audience?
I just definitely like to thank all our supporters, as you know, that are following us or that are just new to following us. I just want to say thank you, and if you ever want to talk, and hit us up anytime. We are available. We are reachable, and pretty much. Look, they messed me up. They messed up my train of thought. Yeah, just keep in touch with the band any way you can, and thank you again for you guys coming out and taking the time to do this interview. It means a lot to us.
Sure. Well, thank you.